y'all doing? My name is Ron and welcome to Small Engine Club. Today we make our first debut video and we're on a reconnaissance mission to retrieve an Ingersoll 3016 with power steering. Apparently the previous owner had removed the engine, he was messing around with it. It needs a new flywheel, needs a new starter. Tractor was running, moving. Looks like it was in decent shape, but it's sat outside for a while. So we're gonna pick her up, got her for a pretty good price. I'm gonna go through it, trying to decide if I want to fully restore it or not. I'm at least gonna strip it down, replace all the hydraulic lines, probably have the power steering ram rebuilt, go through the motor, we'll clean her up, get her running real good, and then decide if I want to paint it or not. So we're out in the middle of nowhere, we're heading over there, and once we get the tractor, Hey y'all, well you see that we got her strapped up here. We got the 3016 with power steering. Got the old P216 over there, and it looks like we have maybe the 46-inch blade, 44, I'm not sure. I have to check the model. She does have the rear PTO, which is a nice feature, and looks like a good clean tractor with good bones. Obviously needs some work. I think I'm gonna end up fully restoring this one. So it is gonna take some time, but we're gonna strip it down together. We're gonna get all new hoses made up. We're gonna paint her, do a new seat, the bells and whistles, go through checking the valves on the Onan motor, replacing the ring gear, getting a new starter, and we're gonna bring this machine completely back to life and what it was when it was new. So I'm excited. Like I said, I'm sure it's gonna take a little while to do this. I got a lot going on this year, but looking forward to hanging out with you guys. All right, guys, we have quite the view here. We're up here heading back with the tractor. Beautiful scenery. Swing you around here. See? She's all right. You know, she's been outside for a while, lots of patina. Definitely need a new seat. But we got the old Onan down there. We got one of the original rims. It's a little rusty crusty, but it's pretty nice. Continue on our journey, and we'll see you when we get home. All right, we got her home. Now we're gonna drag her out, and for now, she's gonna sit under the deck until I can clear up some room to bring her in. We got a tight space in the shop. I'll have to do an introduction in the shop in another video, but we're gonna get everything out. I'm gonna bring the engine inside, take care of that. We don't want to leave that outside anymore, and I don't plan on leaving this outside for long, but gotta do what we gotta do. So let's get moving before it snows. All right. So we see we got here, I believe, an SB, what do they call these? A UB. So this is a UB 44. So 44-inch blade. It's the smaller of the two. They offer a 48, but I plan to use it in the dirt. So I think this is gonna do exactly what I need it to do. So surprisingly, the brakes actually work on this. Guys, you wanna be real careful with these tractors, because any of the hydraulic drive tractors like the Ingersolls or the Cases here, most people always use them on level ground, and you know, the hydrostat slows you down. So a lot of times the brakes go way out of adjustment. And last guy didn't even know it had brakes. So never trust the brakes when you're unloading this, because you will dump this heavy machine and hurt yourself. So luckily these work. So we will just walk her down. I just like to ride the brakes as long as we're looking good. Let me double check how my alignment is doing. And it seems to be all right. So we'll go ahead and release the brakes. Of course the power steering isn't running. Here. So always take it easy. first thing I noticed is the hood release spring is broken here. And of course, this latch that's supposed to come down and actually clamp the hood has broken off at some point. So I don't actually know how I'm gonna fix that quite yet, but we're gonna come up with something here. So here you got the reservoir, and she has fluid in her. You can see the big hydraulic pump we got down here. I believe on the power steering model, this is larger than the original pump. So this is the guy right here. So motor's out, you can see you got the lift cylinder, power steering cylinder, gonna do all new lines. I'm happy to see the headlight assembly is actually hanging out in here. The wiring is not too great on these. They didn't really use any protective sort of, you know, they did electrical tape from the factory, but that all chafed out and I redid it nicely, so. Work in progress, we'll take it through. Looks like we got 475 hours on the clock here. So this machine by my book is barely broken in. We do have an ecosystem growing out of the seat. And I do have the seat I pulled out of the original one I redid on my 4016 here. Why don't you show my 4016? Bring it around. This was one I had picked up quite some time ago from Ohio, and it was already in really good shape. I think she's got 722 on the clock, but I did a new seat. I repainted the fenders. You can see what they're supposed to look like under the hood. I redid all the wiring over here. So this was the loom I was talking about, cleaned everything up. You can see those footbeds, footrests are nice and shiny. All the maintenance was done. So that's cool because we'll be able to go through and bring this tractor back to life. And hopefully it'll look good, not better than this one. So what I'm gonna do now is drag out my 68 Landlord back there, and we're gonna tow this down in the backyard. So stay tuned. Alright, so you can see here I got the 68 Alice Chalmers. Alright, this homemade tow rig apparatus with like a 74 Kubota PTO shaft that was broken, cut off. So we got that wrapped around. Of course, only for the reasons that it's cold out. Remember, if you're cold, they're cold. So we're gonna tuck her in. Alright, and if all goes well, should be able to tow this back down to the boneyard. Now you might say, oh, why can't you just push this downhill? That's not fun, right? We want to do it the difficult way, which is always the fun way. Some pieces of junk out of the way so I can park up there. All right, so we dropped her in our final resting place for now. Gonna make sure we apply the parking brake so she don't go into the woods. So, yeah, it doesn't look, you probably can't see, guys. I'm sorry it's dark out. We had a long day, but I wanted to finish the video. I wanted to finish the video, and we're doing our best. So, good old Allie here did good. It's a very steep grade and very treacherous on the way over. But we got Ivy down here in one piece, and Allie did a great job as always. You may have seen some other relics in the boneyard. Now, the funny thing about Round's boneyard is that it may look abandoned, but everything actually runs. So I did have these 2 push mowers over here, which I've already cleaned the carbs on, but I gotta just complete some maintenance before I get them out the door. So I'm gonna show you guys changing the blade and the oil, and when I find another one, we'll do a carburetor video. But over here, we have this miserable MTD yard machines that was driven into a tree. I got it running and driving. The hood is broken off, but I'll probably put it back on. Probably just gonna let this one go. Somebody who likes to tinker, but it does run pretty good actually. The only good part about that really is the engine. And of course over here we have this Lawn Boy 0 turn, which is the same as a Toro time cutter. This is from 2008, and we found this for free a little while ago, and the motor was completely seized. The blade deck spindles were seized and the bearings were blown out. It was in interesting shape, to say the least, but I had brought that back to life as well. Unseized the motor, rebuilt the carburetor. It's a Nicky 6 carb. I'm going to do that in another video, because a lot of people have trouble with Nicky 6s, and they often get Chinese carbs and I don't have good luck with them. So I'm going to explain all the differences between the OEM, the Chinese, the correct way to rebuild it, and we'll go through this as I clean it up as well. So we'll head back up to the garage, and thanks again for tuning in on the journey that we had today. All right, guys, so just to wrap up today, we went on a reconnaissance mission. We had saved a Ingersoll 3016 with power steering. We have the 44-inch blade. We have the original Onan P216G with a bad ring gear and no starter, and God knows what else but we're gonna make her run. So yeah, she's a complete tractor. You know, need some stuff. We're gonna talk about doing some mods. One of them is an improved front axle pin. Another one I have yet to do to this machine is an improved linkage for the travel control lever, also known as the jumpy tractor. We'll go through doing all the maintenance, putting a new seat. I might even do some painting lessons as I've been learning. We'll have the mower deck rebuild coming up soon. We'll go through, we'll take the Onan apart. We'll make a long series of all the individual aspects, and hopefully we'll get that 3016 looking like this gal right here, if not even better. Because like I said, I'm very tempted to just completely strip the machine down and do a full restoration. I have not done a restoration on an Ingersoll before. I've actually not really done a full restoration on any tractor. I've done partials and I've done engine rebuilds, but I think now is the time that I open the wallet and do the full thing. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. Have a great evening. Don't freeze to death wherever you are in the world. Hopefully you're somewhere warmer than the winter gives us over here. But have a great evening.